guys, welcome to another week. I am, geez, right off the bat, can you believe that? My voice is having a moment. I still have a slight cough, but my voice is deciding that it wants to be like a prepubescent boy. So I'm just putting it out there. My voice comes and goes. So let's see how I go with these voiceovers. This particular layout, I was feeling really, when I was creating this week's worth of layouts, I was feeling really sort of nostalgic, and hubby went back to work this week from Christmas, and Taylor went back to work, which is super exciting for her, and the kids they've still got 2 weeks left of holidays, and Jen's back to gymnastics. I was just feeling like the holidays are done. So I was feeling a little bit nostalgic. So I decided that I would pull out some photos of when the kids were a lot younger, and yeah, and I just went to town with it. I was having all sorts of issues with that particular cutter. It would not turn. It was driving me crazy. This is just my Creative Memories circle cutting system that I use. Had it for a gazillion years and it still works perfectly, not a problem at all. So if it's not broke, why change it? I could pull out my dies and do it that way, but I find this is actually really quick. So alternatively, if you don't have one of these, you can do what I quite often do, which is simply use a compass and hand cut it. Like, you know, if that bothers you, I know I've got a lot of new people to scrapbooking. Let's do a little bit of myth busting this week, okay? I want to, coming into 2024, I want to quash the thing that us YouTubers, we get it right every time. We make everything look perfect. We make everything look simple. That's not always the case. We have little tips and tricks along the way that can make things appear a lot neater or a lot more polished than, you know, someone starting it. So for example, right here, right now, if you look at what's on the table, right, on my desk. So I've pulled in some inks, I've cut out some circles. Yes, I use my cutting system. So obviously I know my circles are perfect circles. But in this case, if you had used a compass or a plate or a bowl out of the kitchen, you know, maybe grab a couple of different bowls, maybe a lid off one of your craft supplies, or maybe go to where you keep your Panadol and maybe use one of those lids. You can create all different size circles. Tip number 1. If you go around the outside edge of your whatever shape it is that you're doing, if you go around it with ink, it automatically makes it look more ephemera-ish, like it finishes it off. If you have done it and cut it out by hand, distress the edges. If you don't have a distressing tool, they're only a couple of bucks. I picked mine up. I actually saw it the other day. So you know how I've been saying for 2 years now, I can't remember where I actually bought mine from. I saw it. It was in K.I.S, so it must be a K.I.S one. It's just, all it is a blade that is set into a piece of plastic, so you can drag it against the paper and it distresses the edges. Now, you can get those. I think I even saw one at Kmart. I was just having a quick flick through the paper craft section at Kmart at the moment, because I haven't been there for a while, and I know you can pick up some really cheap papers and supplies there. Just always remember, not all craft supplies are made equal. So for me personally, this particular paper pack that I'm using, it is a, let me tell you exactly what it's called. It is Paper Boutique. It's made by Paper Boutique, and it's called Perfect Partners, and this is the Dusky Pink pack. Now, it's an 8x8 paper collection, They're all separate sheets, and they are all dusky pink. So you've just got, so they all coordinate. Beautiful. Anything made, I've got a couple of rules of thumb. Any of these paper packs that I get that are from Poland or from Britain, that they seem to have a nice heavy weight to them. So that is fantastic. Now, if you go to Kmart and you pick up a paper pack, it is most likely going to be a lightweight paper pack. It's possibly going to be a, like more a copy paper thickness. Is that a bad thing? Not at all. You can make that work without a problem whatsoever. It is super simple. If you want to, the only time you sort of run into an issue with it is they don't necessarily cut perfectly unless you've got a beautifully sharp blade. So that is sometimes an issue. The flip side is, look how dirty that stencil is, would you? Oh my Lord. I am terrible at cleaning my stencils, especially if I'm doing a live. I'm trying to get better at it, but this particular stencil, I love it. This one is called, it's from Darkroom Door, and which is an Aussie company, and it is literally, it's the perfect size dot, and it's got the perfect gap between it. I love it. It is just, it's a generic shape. Do you know what I mean? Like you can sort of use it for anything. You do use it for girls, boys, holidays, water, grippy socks. You could use it for so many different things. You know, if you've been in hospital, or your parents or something have been in hospital, and here in Australia they give you these bright orange socks. If you know, right? They give you these bright orange socks. My father-in-law has so many pairs of them, and they've got the white grips underneath them. They're anti-slip. They're like what you put on a baby, basically. I think it's a great, don't get me wrong, great idea. Genius. My father-in-law hates them though, because he tries to put them on. He tries to wear the grippy socks and then put his shoes on. So then when he goes to put his foot into his shoe, it grips and he can't get his foot in the shoe. So then he complains that there's something in his shoe. Oh mate, it's a round robin thing. It really, it's quite amusing. Now I have been sitting on these flowers. These were sent to me by Scrapbook Fantasies, and they were gifted to me, so thank you so much. I will have them linked in the description below if you want to go and show them some love. Scrapbook Fantasies now posts internationally as well if you want to go and check them out. So it's not just for all of my Aussie peeps. So Alicia actually does a lot of the designing of her collections. So not only does she sell, other paper collections that they get into the shop, but she makes her own as well. Beautiful quality, gorgeous. The flowers, I sat and fussy cut them. These come in an A4 sheet. To get an A4 sheet or a letter, an A4 cardstock sheet, and they're printed on there, and they're a fussy cut sheet. They are fantastic. These flowers are beautiful. They actually sent me some blue ones and some purple ones, and I think there's it's like a mango sort of looking color. I'm not going to call it orange because it's not orange and it's not yellow. It's kind of like a mango in between. And I've been sitting on these flowers, and I thought I really need to get them out. And I thought, you know what? Pink and purple go together really well. So why don't I tie it in with this layout? And that way I get to show you how you can use shapes and you can embellish with flowers, and it ties it all in together. You don't necessarily need to, I know I like to use shapes a lot, and I want to show you different ways that you can use shapes but still integrate it with your normal ephemera that you have. Now, the reason I love these fussy cut sheets, they are super duper affordable. They're only a couple of bucks, and you get a full sheet of these flowers. Now, on this particular layout, I didn't fold them all up. Normally that's what I do with flowers. I like to give lots and lots of texture and all that sort of thing. But I like to do that when I've got a lot of foliage with it. Now, you can see me scavenging here in my little tray that I have that's off to my right hand side. And I couldn't believe it. I hadn't received my new die cut machine yet. It was still a couple of days away, and I didn't have any of my tiny branches die cut. So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Because I literally was going to use those to poke in around the flowers, leave them white, and I thought that would break it up and would look really good. Well, I couldn't do that because I have now got a die cut machine, but at the time I made this video, I couldn't do anything with it. So I'm waffling. Now, so what I ended up doing was I rifled back through the bag, and this is what I do. I'm a bit of a squirrel. I have every single paper pad that I have, whether it's an 8x8, 12x12, 12x12 collection, whether it's a paper pad or a 6x6, I keep it all in a snap lock bag. Now, when I go, you can see it there, excuse me, when I go to use that collection, so for today, for example, I used full sheets and I was cutting out the circles, but I keep all the scraps because you just never know when you run into a hiccup like I just did and you think to yourself, uh-oh, now what am I going to do? So I dug back in the bag and there was a couple of leftover scraps where I had used a border punch. And I thought, you know what, that's perfect. That's what I'll do. I will add some frills to this and girlify it even more, really, but take away the need for adding leaves and branches to the flowers, because I can't believe you guys. I have to tell you though, I am super, super excited. If you reach this point in the video, you need to keep posted on this, because I actually sent an email to Spellbinders. Now, the fault with the problem and the reason why my die cut machine broke, absolutely not Spellbinders' problem at all. Absolutely not. It was completely 100% user error. My husband dropped it and thankfully it did not land on his foot, but broke the handle. Now, some of you already know that. Now, I emailed Spellbinders, and being Christmas, New Year, I knew they wouldn't get back to me until they, were back in their shop and checking emails and that sort of thing. And it does tell you that it takes sort of 48 hours. I think it says 24 to 48 hours for responses to emails. Anyway, so I ended up, yesterday morning, I got up and I had an email from Spellbinders. And I am shocked. Absolutely shocked. In a good way. They actually emailed me and said, thank you so much for reaching out to us. Yes, we do have handles. Can you please let us know your postal address and we'll send it out to you. That is, I was not expecting that. All I asked for was, I did tell them that I'm a content creator. I did give them my YouTube channel so they knew that I was legit. And I said, I just need to know where I can buy spare parts from because I need a new handle and I don't know where to get it from. And because, there's nothing wrong with the machine. It's just the handle. And for them to come back and say that they're going to send it to me, that is exceptional. That is unbelievable customer service. We talk about it all the time, getting cheaper supplies and all that sort of thing. But sometimes this is the difference. If you have the ability to purchase from companies like this kind of customer service just would not happen from some of the cheaper places you can purchase things from. That's how I'm going to word that. So I did buy a new A4 size die cut machine, and later this week you will see it pop up in a video. I've used it. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. I have got a use for both of those machines in my craft room without question. So I am absolutely stoked. Totally stoked. Now I'm going around back to the layout. I had so much to tell you guys, and so over the next couple of videos I'm getting it all out, so you guys are all up to date with what's been going on in the background over the Christmas break. So I pulled out my distress ink and I used Victorian velvet just to go around and sort of soften the edges a little bit. It just looked a bit pick and stick, sort of, if you know what I mean. Excuse me. So I went around with the Victorian velvet, and now I'm going around with shaded lilac, and this is just the distress ink. It's on the Poppy Crafts flat white cardstock, 240 GSM. You can see how much liquid I'm adding to that, and it's perfectly fine. There's no gesso or anything down. It just gives a little bit of a border to where I've put my photos. Now what I do actually do, and I love this look, and I know I'm now going to do this on my other flowers that I have in my from Scrapbook Fantasies. When I did this with the little splatters of the distress ink, not the oxide, just the ink, it looks gorgeous on the flowers. It is so pretty. Apologies, sorry about the coughing. It hasn't gone away, guys, and I have got asthma now that is off the charts. So, I can't win. I tell you what, I just cannot win. But it's okay. So I will have everything listed in the description below, just so you can find anything you're looking for. The mother-daughter cut file that you can see there was also from Scrapbook Fantasies. And then I came in with a little bit of white paint just to try and sort of add a little bit of splatter. But I stopped myself because I'm like, no, it doesn't need it. Just stop. It actually is fine the way it is. Leave it alone. So I did that. Now, I'm going to have everything listed in the description below. I will have a link to Scrapbook Fantasies online store, and I will link the items that I've actually used on this video. I also have my link to my Facebook group and my Instagram. Facebook group is where I put photos up every single day of the pics for the video for the day. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Oh, don't forget there's a buy me a coffee link in the description as well if you'd like to support the channel. Not essential, just if you want to help out buy supplies. Thanks so much, guys. I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.